Well, as you can see, we're in a field in the beautiful area of the Cotswolds, and we're here as it's one of the locations for the new film Empire of Lies. That is also a location there. So we're here to ask Joseph, Matthew, Natalie and Elliot what it's all about.
You've got your chair. You got one hand. Okay, cool.
I've got one hand.
I'll give you. I might give you the lens case if we don't have anyone else. But
Yeah, that'd be fine.
other than that, I'm just bringing this on sticks, so I'm all good for now.
That's fine.
So Empire of Lies. It's a two-hander, all set in one location. So
Right.
so for a feature, it's a real interesting challenge. Well, it's a challenge from my perspective to kind of keep it visually interesting, without doing flashy things for the sake of it, if that makes sense. But there's two characters. A chap called Dave who lives in a camper van in a field. He's very isolated. He's sort of cut himself off from the rest of the world after something that's happened in his life. And one day, a young woman comes to essentially try and interview him and get a bit of a story of build up a bit of a picture of what led him to this point in his life. So it's a sort of murder mystery thriller, but told very much through their dialogue. Being just two characters. So it's really interesting.
No, I think the height's fine because we can switch to the 35 afterwards.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm just wondering if changing.
Yeah,
it's
could
quite.
be that I land and you walk past and settle.
Oh no, I'm fine. No, sorry, I'm just talking about the overs. I think.
Clean camera equipment from here.
I'm just wondering because it's quite a lengthy dialogue.
Could you tell us a little bit about the plot of the film, please?
Yeah.
Without any spoilers, obviously.
Yeah. There's a bit of a twist at the end, so I won't mention that. So the film is about a guy called Dave. It's set in his life, in his world, and one day a young woman comes to talk to him. She's a journalist, a YouTuber, and a political commentator. And Dave's daughter was murdered. We don't know who by. And she's coming to the field to talk to him and ask him his side of the story and just try and get to the truth and try and dig deep and try and get him to dig deep as well.
So there's only two actors, isn't there, essentially?
Yeah, it's a
So
two-hander.
obviously it's quite dialogue heavy.
Yeah.
So how did you learn it like a play almost? So you prepped it all way in advance, or how do you work on?
Sort of, yeah. So Joe and I had a few conversations before we got started. We really tackled the big scenes prior to getting here, and so tried to learn those and be as familiar with those as we could. And then the little ones we've kind of just been learning the night before shooting. Fortunately, a couple of times the rain has actually helped us because we're filming outside, obviously, and a couple of mornings we had to hold off on the scene because it was raining. But great timing for me because it gave me time to drill in the scene with Joe, which was really helpful.
Well, I've just looked up Empire of Lies on the IMDb, and this is the synopsis. When a mysterious young woman comes to interview a paranoid man living in rural isolation, he is forced to confront his part in his daughter's murder. So we're talking conspiracy theories, journalists, and a missing child. So, Joseph, what's the basic plot of Empire of Lies?
It is about a chap who... how grief can turn to psychosis. So for me, the basic plot is a chap who lives in that van,
Right.
has gone away from society. He was accused of murdering his daughter, and in the eyes of the press and the world, he got away with it. He was a press story for a moment in all the red tops. I got away with murder, blah, blah, blah. He is a bit of a conspiracy theorist from the outside. He believes the state assassinated her daughter, it wasn't him, blah, 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 and he's had to get himself here. But for me, this film is about... And a journalist arrives saying, I finally want your side of the story. I'm not here to stitch you up, I want your side of the story. He's very hostile towards her, and eventually it all comes out and it becomes a murder mystery. Did he do it? If he didn't do it, who did it? If he did do it, why did he do it? But more than that, he's really not very well. Not for me, what moved me about the script when Matthew first sent me his first draft of it, it reminded me of the people you see sometimes. That's my wages flying in. The people you see in train stations on the street sometimes who are like chatting to themselves and like, you know, and you just walk past like, oh, let me get past them. Do you mind?
Something here.
Let's keep talking. This is a good microphone. Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, there's an airbase near here.
All right. Bryce Norton, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, you know, it reminds me of those people that I walk past sometimes. It made me think, you know what? What's it like being inside that? There's a moment in that Mike Leigh film, Naked, where David Thewlis says to Ewan Bremner's character, who's like, you know, one of them twitchy people you see on the street, and he goes, what's it like in there? Bit hectic, is it? And for me, this is about a whole film exploring. It's a murder mystery, but actually it's looking at what psychosis is. Grief moving into psychosis.
Sure. Okay.
It's not a comedy, but there are some laughs. And there's a massive twist. Some people might guess, but I hope not. And I have to keep trying not to say it.
Don't.
Because it will take so much of the fun away.
Yeah,
the last 5 minutes are awesome with this script.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant. And Matthew is... What you got? Matthew is like one of the great action directors Britain's ever produced. But he's gone quite like All the Devil's Men and The Veteran. Toby Kebbell, Brian Cox.
Yeah.
Are fucking amazing action films. And this is him like... The action is just the talking. He's never done that before. Right. It's like he wanted to do it as an exercise.
Yeah, ideology.
Oh.
Yeah, Marxism is a dangerous ideology.
All isms are dangerous.
Become radicalised, politically speaking.
Radicalised?
What would you say then?
I don't know. Woken?
Okay, when did you become awake?
Yeah.
So it's more open, they're more open,
Yeah.
and then when he puts his barrier up, we
Yeah.
go over, do the French overs.
Yeah, okay.
That
I
feels like that.
Sure. And also, this is a lot of it to the camera as well.
Yeah.
The lens.
What inspired you to write the script?
What inspired me to write the script? Well, Joe and I had written another script together, and we were trying to raise the money for that, and the producers were trying to raise the money for that, and it was just sort of taking forever. And then one night, Joe and I were having this conversation, and offhandedly he joked, all right, the next film we make is going to be me in a camper van in a field with a gun. And we both laughed and didn't think anything of it. And Joe had been planning his own film, Signs of Life, for a long time, and he was going to do it with a stripped down crew and, you know, do it in Spain. And he kept saying to me, you should do something like this, you should do something like this. And I was sort of resistant because I thought, it'd be like making my first film again, and I have to drive the van and all that sort of stuff. And then something happened, and I think it was sort of, I'd seen what he had done, and I thought, oh yeah, maybe that will work. And then I started to think about, I went, that idea of this guy in a field in a van sort of, it didn't leave my brain. And then I thought, I wonder who that guy is. And it's sort of, that's how it came about. And a lot of what's in it is a lot of stuff I've been reading about and listening to podcasts and this, and it came out very quickly. I mean, I wrote the first draft probably in a few weeks, and then I gave it to Joe, and he sort of went over it and through it, and then we passed it backwards and forwards, and then we said, okay, this is what we're going to do, and off we went.
I don't think we did. We just paused a lot and then we dried.
Yeah,
So where did we drive?
I tried a lot.
Oh, me too. God.
What is the end of the frame on the fence?
That's right.
You tried really hard, and then you
Yeah.
cut it out.
Just the post.
At the end of the game.
It was,
So if I am
yeah, so I skipped that.
Ah, very good, very good. I
So
want to know what got you to that.
beautiful, viewed from a distance, everything is beautiful. I want to know what got you to that point.
This.
Can you time this for me?
This point.
Interestingly.
I want to know what got you to this.
Yeah, that's good. Why?
Context.
Oh, so you can
Good.
show me.
All right.
Let's have a go. See what happens. Run it on the flag post. See who salutes. Ready?
Okay. Roll call. Turn over.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Well, Empire of Lies is about a guy who's in rural isolation, and he's visited by a journalist who wants to know about the possible death that he's involved in of his daughter. This is actually one of the few locations in the film, this lovely vehicle. The rest of it takes place outside in the fields. Well, I think it's time to go, John. It's been raining now, and the weather forecast said it was going to be slightly better, but you know, it's just an empire of lies.